Hello class, this is your monthly reading tracker overview, and setup instructions. Each month you are expected to complete at least one book that is a minimum of 100 pages and something you want to read. You need to read a variety of genres and keep track of those in your class journal or class folder. At the beginning of each month, you will plan out your reading checkpoints so you know how much you need to read each week. Each week you will complete one section of your monthly reading tracker and turn it in for a progress check. At the end of the month, you will complete a reflection activity. Let's begin. Have your tracker in front of you and be prepared to pause the video as you go along to complete each step. Step 1, I want you to fill out the top section with your name, period, and the current month. Pause the video and do that. Step 2 is the book information. Now for me, I'm going to do the sample book, The Width of the World by David Baldacci. Notice that on the upper left side, I have filled in the title, author, and genre. Please note, fiction is not a genre. Use the genre notes that you have to figure out what genre of fiction or non-fiction is your book. Do not write fiction for the genre unless you would like me to call you over on Friday to fix it. What genre of fiction or non-fiction is your book? Pause the video and fill out that information. Tracker step 3 is filling in your due dates. You can use your agenda calendar, or I just went to Google Calendar, as you can see, and figured out the Fridays for the month that I am on. Now remember, if you are not filling this out for September 2019, you need to figure out the right dates for you. So for week 1, I have filled in the Friday date of September 6th. Week 2 is the next Friday, which would be the 13th, and week 3, I have the 20th. You do not have to worry about the 4th week because that is your wrap-up week. Go ahead and pause the video and fill out that information. Tracker step 4 is your page checkpoints. You will need a calculator, either an online calculator, a calculator that you might have, or get permission to use a phone calculator. I am using my same book, The Width of the World by David Baldacci. My total pages is 421. That is going to make very ugly mathematics with lots of decimals as I begin my division. So I am just rounding to page 420. Please take a moment and find the total pages in your book for your story and write it in the upper right side where it says total pages. Pause the video if needed. Okay, for checkpoint number 1, you have to have 1/4 of your book completed. So you're going to take your total pages and divide it by 4. I have done that and got 105. Pause the video and find your 1/4 of your pages by taking your total pages in your current book and dividing it by 4. Then write that in under checkpoint 1, 1/4 of pages. For checkpoint 2, that would be halfway through your book. So I have taken my total pages. Again, I've rounded down to 420 to make my math easier. And I have divided 420 by 2. That gets me 210. So I've written that in for checkpoint 2. Go ahead and pause the video and figure out your halfway point and write that in. For checkpoint 3, you are simply adding. This one you're not dividing. This one you're adding. You're adding 1/4 pages by your half pages point. So for me, I'm adding 105 and 210 to get 315. Go ahead and figure out your 3/4 of a page point for checkpoint 3. Pause the video if you need to. Moving on to step 5. Now you're going to answer question number 1, because this question is simply asking you, why did you choose the book? I want 2 to 3 grade level sentences. I do not want I like it or I don't know. Those are not acceptable answers. I want complete sentence answers like you see in my example. I explain why I selected the book and then give more information about what I like about the book. I even include what I am hoping out of my reading. Go ahead and pause the video and complete step 5. Now we're moving on to the weekly checkpoints. For week 1, before you turn in your tracker for your first week check, you will tell me what page you ended on, and then you will circle whether you are on track, ahead, or behind. Notice the red circle that I have put on the upper right side of the demonstration, where you will write in your pages. You must tell me what page did you end on for the week, or else I have no idea where you are in your reading. So before Friday, you will give me that information. Now, for week 2, before the following Friday, you will answer the next question about what surprised you. And if nothing surprised you, then you need to explain to me in 2 to 3 sentences why you're even reading this book where there's nothing that surprises you. What do you even like about this book if nothing is surprising you? Then you also need to tell me what page you ended on for week 2, and if you're on track, ahead, or behind, only circle 1. For week 3, again, answer the question, and then tell me what page you're on and if you're on track, ahead, or behind. Week 4 is different. This week, you are not giving me a check. You need to finish your book. Then you sign the academic honesty pledge at the bottom saying that you honestly have read the book and you are honestly answering the questions. Then you need to work on your reflection letter or reflection activity, update your tracker in your journal or folder, and then select your next genre book and begin a new monthly reading tracker. Those are the steps for completing your weekly reading tracker. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.